Hello there to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on Instagram. I'm Donna Hoffman. Good to see you, my gorgeous design divas. And welcome to you. Welcome to you there, you gorgeous peeps on Facebook. I think we're now live. Hang on. Welcome to you, my gorgeous peeps on Facebook, my design divas. Look at you. You look gorgeous out there in Facebook land. You look stunning out there in Instagram land. Gosh, it's good to see you guys. What a day. What a day it has been. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere, design lovers working on your own home, design lovers who are also professional design divas as well. And I take you deeper into your skill, deeper into your talent, deeper into your ability. And I do that for the design lover who wants more strategy working on your own home. I've got great courses there. And for the design lover who's a professional who wants more on the business side, we've got support for you as well. So we love design lovers, period. End of sentence, end of paragraph, end of story. And that's why every week here on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, I stop what I'm doing in my luxury design company based in the Philadelphia region of the United States. No matter what we're working on, I stop what we're doing to come out here and talk to you and teach you a lesson on something design driven. We call these our little weekly fireside chats, minus the fire and the fireside and the brandy snifter and the cookies and whatever the heck else you imbibe on in when you're having a fireside chat. So I'm seeing all kinds of waves and hellos coming in from people already, and I'm so glad to be seeing that. So let's talk about what we're talking about today, or let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about artwork, selecting the right artwork for a space. In a little bit, I'll also tell you about a great contest that we have going. If you'd like to win one of my courses for free, I'll tell you how to do that. And then I'll be telling you about what we're going to be talking about next week. And in between all that, I'll be taking your questions on artwork. Please keep your questions on topic because there are people who came today just for this topic. And please send your question in while I'm here live. If you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, we don't always get to your questions on a timely basis. So you want real time, get it in here while I'm here live. And I think that's all I have to tell you. So let's talk about artwork. There are common mistakes people make with artwork. So today I wanted to talk about selecting the right artwork, the ideal artwork for a space. And, you know, it doesn't require a trust fund, doesn't require that you are the niece of Bill Gates or the babe on the side for Bill Gates. It doesn't require that you come from a family fortune or that you've made your own fortune in the world. It does require a lot of strategy. So the first thing I want you to consider where artwork is concerned that I think about as a luxury interior designer, design company owner, I'm working on big residential projects, full builds for 10,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet residences, 7,000 square feet residences, and I'm also doing projects where people hire us just to do one room or two rooms or three rooms. But I'm thinking comprehensively, total space. I'm thinking between spaces. So I'd like you to think that way as well when you're thinking about artwork. This is the way that a professional would work, right? And I know you want those gorgeous Pinterest beautiful results or those House beautiful results. Well, whose work do you think you're seeing on House and Pinterest? Professionals, right? So I know that that's the aspirational moment that everybody's looking for. So with artwork, there are several considerations that you need to have in your brain when you're designing a project. At the beginning of every room that I design, I'm always thinking about where's the art going to be. Now, artwork in terms of installation, final selection is a late game thought. But if you spent any time with me, you know I talk to you guys about the difference between concept and then final decision. Concept is the idea, it's the net that you're casting, right? So I know what my art moment might be. If you are working with existing artwork, I know ahead of time what is that existing artwork. So when you start a project, I want you to do something that might be different for you. I want you to think about what's the art story going to be in this room. Do I have something already? Because if the answer is yes, you might say, you know what, I'm going to design to this piece. I'm going to pull something directly, a color palette directly out of this piece. My hubs and I love it so much. My wife and I love it so much. And you can spin an entire room out of a fantastic piece of art. I've done it and it can happen. That light back there looks is that light getting brighter? Is there something weird happening with that light? Is that like the spirit world talking to me? Hang on, I'm gonna turn that light off. Hang on, 2 secs, hold the phone. Something strange happening here. Okay, get that off. Like, was it getting darker and lighter as I was talking to you? I saw a really wild special called Surviving Death. Oh my gosh. Maybe I have too much like spirit world in my brain. I'll tell you about that crazy documentary on Prime one day, but oh my gosh. Anyway, so maybe I have to make this a little brighter now. That's better. Okay, anyway. Is it a first consideration? Is it a last consideration? If it's a first consideration, know what that piece is. Does it need to be reframed? Huge difference. If you're going to reframe a piece, totally reinvents the piece. I think about that as a designer. Is it a good piece, but it's just framed poorly for this new space or this new location it's going to go into if I'm reinventing something? If it's a last thought or a later thought in a project, I don't leave it for the end. I know roughly where I'm going in the art. I know what it needs to be. Subject matter, colors that I'm going to want, size, and location. We're going to talk about that in a sec. So the first piece of this takeaway for you in this lesson is it a first consideration or a last consideration in terms of selection? Either way, know that, but develop your concept right away when you're starting your space. Know where you're going with your art. Next, price point. You need to know where you're going if you're adding to something existing, aka reframing. You need to know where you're going if you are purchasing something new. Why do you need to know that? Because it has to be included in a line item budget projection. When you're putting together your total budget for the room, even if it's a facelift, guys, maybe you're doing a bedroom facelift and you know you're going to do new bedding, new window treatments, and there's an area that's empty and calling for something, you know you need artwork there. Include that in your total budget calculations. Price point can really vary for a million different reasons on artwork. What's important is that you love it, that it's the right size, right context, right location, which brings us to our next thought. Location, location, location. They talk about that in retail, right? You've got to have the right location for your restaurant, for your store. Same thing for your artwork. After we're done today in this wonderful public Facebook and Instagram live that we're doing, I have this fantastic private meetup that I do with some of my most dedicated students. It's called the VIP Lounge. We should really call it like Wine and Design or the Girls Design Night. Once a month on a Tuesday, I get together with these students online, look at pictures, we talk, we design together. You have to be a graduate of one of my programs to join it, but it's a great opportunity for me to get into people's projects with them. And one of the questions that I've been sent in advance, I've already looked at this student's pictures, has to do with artwork, and her locations are off. Not that the art is off in her space, but the location is where she's hanging things. Art needs to be hung in context to the thing it is over, next to, or near, okay? Art has to connect with something or hold court on its own if it's on its own on a wall. But that said, guys, every space in your home, every space in a room, let's shrink your thinking down to one room, does not need a piece of artwork on it. Why are you putting a piece of artwork in a location? Why are you stopping the eye in a particular area? Do you need to? Do you need to call attention to the corner of a room next to a window, two window treatments that are on one dining room wall, and then you got a piece of art stuck in the corner? You need to ask yourself, why do I have that artwork there? Very interestingly, for untrained design lovers working on your own home, flying on instinct alone, it's so fascinating to me when I see you guys misplacing your artwork. It's because something else in the room is off. You sense it, you know it because you're smart, because you're talented, but you don't know how to correct it, and you're trying to correct it with the wrong thing. So location, location, location. Why am I hanging a piece of artwork there? I just had a conversation with a designer who's doing work for our company, my part-time designer, and she was talking about artwork over a bed. And Becky always likes to put artwork over a bed. I said, you know, Becky, I don't think there always needs to be artwork over a bed. Sometimes I think it's a great device in a room, but not always. So there aren't hard, fast rules about where you must put a piece of artwork, but generally speaking, you know, over a sofa, very often over a sofa, something. And when I say artwork, everybody, it can also be a big framed mirror or a grid of mirrors, right? That can count as artwork as well, right? Framed art on a wall. So location, location, location. Why is something hanging in a particular location? And why shouldn't you hang something in a particular location? And the other issue, of course, is size. Big mistakes. Size, too small for the location, too big for the location. So proportion, super important. And then, of course, context and color, right? The color palette in the art is going to affect what's in the surrounding space. So are you uber modern and all of the color is coming out of your artwork in this, you know, gallery wall kind of thing? Or gallery white walls, I should say. Or do you want your art to make a particular statement because of its color or because of its lack of color? Does the subject matter count in a space? Yeah, it does. But again, it has to be something that you love. If you would like more information on anything I've just drilled into, because there's a lot to cover on this topic, I've got a great artwork guide for you. I've posted a link in the Facebook group. It's called My Ultimate Guide to Home. What is it? The Ultimate Guide to Home Art. There it is. I should know what it's titled. And there's a link up. It's mydesigncpr.com/artwork. mydesigncpr.com/artwork. It's a fantastic little ebook packed with great content. Talks about just everything really you need to know about getting great artwork going at a variety of price points in any space. So there it is. So if you want more information, there it is. Hopefully what I said to you has helped you and gotten some, what's the word? Some light bulb moments happening. While you're putting in your artwork questions, let me tell you about a contest that we have here. We've had a lot of requests for people for an extension on the deadline. So we are extending the deadline now for 2 more weeks out to May 1st, or I think that's 3 weeks. We're giving you till May 1st to get your contest entries in. It's all about the bookcase and bookshelf makeover. So if you would like to show us a gorgeously styled bookcase or bookshelf that you have styled using my Design CPR course, you can enter and then you can win another one of my courses for free. My Window Boss course, my Decorating Genius course, or you can win a membership into my VIP lounge. That's that great meetup I'm going to after this with you guys. So let me tell you what you have to do. You need to be a student of Design CPR. You post just an after image of the beautiful bookcase or bookshelf that you styled. You post it into Instagram with the hashtag TIDA Bookcase Challenge. That's hashtag TIDA, T-I-D-A, Bookcase Challenge. Write in your caption a couple of words about how Design CPR, how that course helped you to get your beautiful result. And just make sure you're following us on Instagram and make sure that you're following us on YouTube at The Interior Design Advocate. Pretty easy peasy. Your extended deadline now is May 1st. The prize is you get to pick out one of my online courses. There it is. Or a 6-month membership into my VIP Wine and Design Lounge. There it is. Okay, so if you missed any portion of this, you can always find this on YouTube. So there it is. So let's see what kind of questions there are coming in. They're already coming in on Instagram, which means that they're coming in on Facebook too. Let me just say hello to everybody. I'm getting hellos and waves from all my fabulous peeps. Tina is excited to be here. I'm so glad. Jennifer is saying hello. This is my favorite day. I'm so glad to hear that. I love coming out here with you guys. I have had such a strange day today. I have had fantastic news today, and I've had heartbreaking news today. Coming out here to be with you is always such a highlight for me. And I will be honest with you, before I came out, I thought, oh, that was bad news we just got on a phone call about our Aunt Nina. How am I going to come out here? But as soon as I log in to talk to you, I get like a lift from you. So I have to thank you there. Anyway, enough about me. So Pam is saying like clapping hands. So I guess that's a good thing. Hello from Audrey and Karen. Okay, I'm getting hello from Kentucky. Sandy's out there. Okay, Beverly is saying hi from Cape Cod. Hello, Joe Collins is here. Can't wait to hear what you have to say, Donna. So good to hear that. All right, Susan is saying, what about children's artwork, which won a contest, parental love of the item? Susan, I'll tell you, a great thing to do with children's artwork. Not only should you frame it, but you can frame it in a couple of ways. Go to your local frame store, go to like a craft store. That very often craft stores will have framing options. There are little thin skinny frames that can be done in a bright color or in a color that's relative to the artwork. You can frame it, put it in a children's playroom. How fabulous is that? Or you can frame everything in black, in a black little frame or a white frame or a silver frame or a gold frame, and make a nice amorphous kind of grid or really art wall out of all of that. Another great option to do in a family space or in a children's bedroom or in a children's playroom. You can also ask your framer about something called a floating frame. Write that down, Floating, floating frame. What that means is, imagine that this is the art, right? What the framer does is they put a piece of glass over it, but the glass extends beyond the piece and the frame is actually out here. So you get your wall color behind, and then you have your frame. You can do floating frames on black and white photography. You can do it on all kinds of prints and such, but it's really fun on children's artwork. So hopefully, does that help you at all? I hope it does. Susan, let me know if that helps you. Hope it does. Okay, Chris Bess is saying, I'm on my patio with a glass of rosé. Chris, I'm going to do you one better. I just promoted somebody today. So we have Prosecco left over from our little cheersing, some cheersing Chris and everybody here. Here we go. Oh, Prosecco, how much do I love thee? Okay, that was good. All right, Chris, well, I'm glad you're out here joining us with the rosé. Wish I was out on that patio with you, Chris. Nicole Dawn is saying hello from Thunder Bay, Canada. Hey, it's so good to have Canada in the house. Thank you so much, Nicole. Also on Instagram, Chris is saying, rules of thumb, please, for stacking art, especially over high ceilings over a sofa. Paintings are slightly smaller than the 80-inch sofa. Okay, listen, everybody. Chris, Betsy, you and you, Rosé. I don't know what it is about you guys in the two-story spaces. Do you need to go to the second story in two-story spaces? Chris, I'm going to wrap into your question a little bit more in a sec. Do you need to go to that second story in a two-story space? No. You want your artwork to connect with the thing it is hung over, next to, or near. In a hotel lobby, you want to create drama and diminish the sense of human form in that space and make the space feel more grand? Sure. You want to put a fabulous piece of art high up in that two-story hotel lobby that you're designing in your mind? Go for it. But in many, many residences, I'm going to say, especially if you are working on your own, you don't have a formal design training, don't get so ambitious with your art placement. Get it gorgeous and right. Don't worry about filling that second story. I sometimes see students, before they've taken my courses, throwing artwork up on these two-story ledges, and everything in the room below is off. And now we're throwing focus up to the second story area of a room when the room itself has some significant problems. So rule of thumb, Chris and everybody, artwork, I'm going to say it again, artwork is hung in relationship to the thing it is over, your sofa, next to, maybe a bookcase, or near, okay? So if it's near nothing other than a window or a doorway opening, that's something, right? So the rule of thumb for size is that you want a painting or a cluster of paintings to be slightly smaller than, but close to the size of that sofa if you want a lot of impact. In terms of how high above, I generally like to see things above a sofa placed at about 6 inches above that sofa. You can wiggle it. If I'm in a two-story space, I might go 8 or 9 inches above the sofa. And that's above the cushion, not necessarily the hard back, because sometimes the hard back is lower than the back cushion. If you have that situation, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably don't have that situation. So, good rule of thumb for something above a sofa, at least 36 tall. It's good rule of thumb. I wouldn't go too much less than something 28 tall, but something long, landscapey. It can be taller than that if you're doing a diptych or a triptych, a trio of something or a duo of something. Chris, tell me if that is enough information to be able to answer you to sufficiently be successful in what you're working on, and send in a follow-up if you need more on that, okay? All right, hopefully that helps. Okay, Jill Fry is here from Park City, Utah. She's saying hello to everybody. So cheers and hello to Jill. Joe is saying, I just got back from our ski vacation. Wow. Had a real treat of a time in my city. Oh, in Philadelphia? No. Oh, in Park City. Just got back from a ski vacation. Had a real treat of a time in your city. Oh, I guess you're talking to somebody else. There it is. I'm thinking, how are you skiing in Philadelphia? I'm sorry. It's been a crazy day here, I'm telling you. Okay, Aura is here from the Bay Area in California. Fabulous. You have some of the sunshine I've wanted. Okay, more hellos. Okay, Linda Giannetta is saying, I love beautiful art, but unfortunately in an open floor plan, there are not enough walls. You know, Linda, that is not so far from the truth. Usually in open concept, there are not as many opportunities. You've got a fireplace somewhere. Very often that has a TV flat screen above it, right, in today's, 21st century living. But there are opportunities for artwork, and you can look for artwork in some significant and interesting locations. Very often in open concept, there is, I feel like I have a piece of hair sticking out here. There's often an opportunity on some like big blank wall that just needs a little bit of anchoring. You know, artwork will do that. Artwork stops the eye. You're asking the eye, come here and stay. Come here and stay. And then now move over there, right? So you're asking the eye to kind of skip across the space based upon how you've placed that artwork. But I hear this complaint a lot, and I feel it too when I'm working in uber open concept. There is a little less wall space to deal with. But listen, there are bedrooms, there are home offices in those contained spaces that are contained, and that's more opportunity. Sue is saying, where do you find a nice assortment of artwork to purchase? Is it hard to buy online? Oh, it is hard to buy online due to colors looking different online compared to in person. Sue, I hear you, but I don't think the art colors have to be, it's not like Garanimals. It's not like we're matching that. You got to get this exact navy, this exact teal. I think that you can be a little more liberal with your artwork colors, and they can kind of flex in and around your plan more so than you realize. Listen, you know what I think is a great and really underestimated resource? Etsy. You could just put into Etsy black and white artwork. Watch what comes up. Put in a color that you want. Black and white abstracts. Put that in and see what comes up. You'll see original artists that will be advertising from across the world, some of whom will do things in different sizes for you. You'll see people who are reframing prints. You'll just see some really cool things coming up. So I would try that as a resource that comes off the top of my head, real quick for you there. So hopefully, Sue, that helps you. Let me know if you need more on that. Judy is saying, admittedly, I am a maximalist. I need to refrain from having excitement from you. I need to refrain from having excitement from using more items over less. Yeah, Judy, you got to pick your moment. It's kind of like getting dressed in the morning. What do they always say? Like remove one accessory so it really counts. So see if that'll help you at all. Beverly is saying, I have that artwork information. I love it so far. Oh, good. Beverly loves my ultimate guide to home art. I'm so glad. People are really loving it. So I am glad that you're loving it too. Chris Betts is responding saying, I have a pair of large paintings with a theme of Paris hanging over my sofa. I have 10-foot ceilings, 48 long by 36 tall. I don't see a problem with that. That should be good. I like it. 48 long by 36 tall. I'm assuming your sofa is about like an 84-inch something or a 72-inch something. So I wouldn't go any smaller than a 48 over an 84-inch sofa. And if you can ever find something longer than that, great. And you have two paintings, so you can spread them a little bit. You can put 6 inches between them so that you're layering them that way. Okay, hopefully that helps you. Beverly is saying, Donna, I have two artwork pieces I want to put in a bedroom. How do I know if it's too matchy-matchy? Beverly, if I haven't seen a picture, babes, I can't tell you, so I'd have to look at it. Sorry about that. Brenda is saying, is there a rule of thumb as far as scale, proportion with art above, say, a chest, question mark, lamp height, question mark? Yeah, lamp height is a whole other story. It's a whole other lesson, and it's probably a more visual lesson. In fact, this lesson can be very visual too. So remember, this is fireside chat time. Rule of thumb for scale and proportion above a chest. Okay, so Brenda, it's always good to take, let's say Brenda has a 36-inch, 3-drawer chest. I wouldn't put anything wider than 36, and I think you can come in by a few inches on either side. So take 36 minus 4 inches, minus 4 inches, so 36 minus 8 is 36 minus 8 is 28. So something 28 wide could be really nice. Could you do something that's 36? You could be a little overpowering if it's 36 wide. You could do something 30 wide. You want to be at least 2/3 as wide as the thing you're hanging over for a chest, as a rule of thumb. Now, if it is a print, remember you can make it look bigger with A, your matting, and B, your framing. Because sometimes a frame is, you can look at frames that are 1 inch. You can look at frames that are 1.5 inch, the 2.5, 3, 4-inch frames, really beefy, bulky frames. Now you're talking a little bit, Brenda, about adding a lamp, piece of artwork with a lamp there in front of it. Here's something I want you to be aware of. When you go to your framing store, look at the frame profile. What does it look like from the side? I just returned a whole bunch. Did we return those samples to Frame Game? I don't know if we did. I had a bunch of frame samples here. I could have shown you exactly what I'm talking about here. But so some frames are pretty flat. Maybe an inch projection, a half inch projection, but some frames like scoop and they become, they have depth to them. So make sure, and when you're hanging over your chest of this imaginary chest we've given to Brenda, make sure that the projection of that frame is not so deep that it's going to interrupt the width of the lampshade that you want to put in front of it or near it, right? So watch those projections. Sometimes when I'm working with my framer, I'll find a beautiful frame. I'll say, this is fabulous, but the projection, meaning how far off the wall will it move? Sometimes that projection is just too deep. So you're looking at the style of the frame, the color of the frame, and the projection of it as well. So I hope that helps you, Brenda. Hope I didn't make life worse for you there. Lisa is saying, could you post the link for the art guide again? For some reason, I cannot find it in the description. Yes, we just posted it. And that link again is My Design CPR, like CPR, how to help your design. MyDesignCPR.com/artwork. Yeah, Tracy Elliott Hobbs is saying, is a rule of thumb on choosing artwork for a space to be horizontal or vertical? Yes. So Tracy, there is a reason for artwork being in every location. You might have an area of bare wall that needs to be held by some artwork, hold court with it. And you might say, you know what? I want a vertical stack here. I don't want one piece. I want 2 pieces, or I want 3 pieces. I want 3 20-inch somethings framed running north-south, near the entry to my kitchen because I need some weight there. So you need to decide as a concept, where do I want my artwork and roughly how big do I want it to be? And yes, am I running horizontally or am I running vertically? Am I hanging vertically above twin nightstands in a master bedroom? Well, if you are, you want to think about how big do these pieces need to be, because I want to do a vertical hang, or I want one vertical piece hanging, right? So that's an important consideration, Tracy, and you're a genius for thinking about that. I'm proud of you. That was a good question. In my artwork cheater, in my ultimate guide to home art, change the name on it from when I first wrote it. In my ultimate guide to home art, we cover things like that. And also, guys, I have a phenomenal online course called Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms with Accessories. I go into art in that course. I don't repeat what's in that course and my art guide. So if you just want the guide and not the whole shebang in the course, that's fine too. But if you feel like you need real teaching and help with accessorization artwork to really lean into that, to reinvent your rooms, definitely think you should check out my amazing Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms with Accessories online course. I just want to let everybody know, as I'm taking questions, that if you've missed any portion of this, you can always find us on YouTube at theinteriordesignadvocate.com. And if you're not following us at our design studio, that's like the award-winning part of the design company. That's at IDH Designs. That's at IDH Designs. You can see what we're working on with our design team. And if you're not following us on our teaching brand, TIDA, the Interior Design Advocate, that's at decorating.genius. That is at decorating.genius. We really should have done at the interior design advocate. Why didn't we do that? Because it was so damn long. So we said, we need something shorter. So we kind of named it after one of our signature classes that people love, our Decorating Genius course. All right, Desi in Chicago is saying on Instagram, if I have a console table and a high back chair, should the painting be right above the console table or on top of the high chairs? So do you mean, Desi, that you have a console table with 2 chairs on either side? Without seeing a picture, a little hard to know exactly what you're asking about, but if I'm understanding you, console table with 2 chairs, I would hang above the console table. Hope I got you right there. Hope I understood your question, Desi. If you have a follow-up, feel free to pop that in there. Next week, we're talking about 3 common mistakes young design businesses make. If you're thinking of starting your own business, or you are in a business less than 7 to 10 years old, you definitely want to pop in, because these are common mistakes that the young design companies make, and they definitely hold you back. Okay, some more questions. Kay is saying, how to buy art for a living room. Should I buy something that matches my room or buy some art that I love? You know how I feel about the word match. Me. Throw that one out. You want something that's in conversation with, adds to the story of, looks right in that space, looks great in that space. Does it need to match the space? No. But should it be in conversation with? I think for most transitional design and most traditional design, I'm going to say often it's best to let there be some conversation. If you are uber modern, where your design is fairly monochromatic, colorless, beautiful gallery, white walls, your art can go in 700 different directions in the same residence. You can have like an Andrew Warhol-esque something here, a total fabulous abstract somewhere else, a mixed media piece someplace else, totally different color palettes. But if you have a controlled color palette in your transitional design, your traditional design, if you're doing farmhouse or even industrial farmhouse or modern farmhouse, I think you want to give thought to what colors and context you want to bring in to those spaces, because here's what you need to know about all of design, about furniture design, about interior design. Color is very distracting. It's why when I take clients to a showroom, the first thing I tell them is ignore every furniture shape, every furniture color you see. It's why when I teach students about design and furniture, I say, when you're in your store or showroom, ignore every color you see and just focus on the shape of what you're looking at. Just focus on the shapes of the furniture, because color is so distracting. Same thing with your artwork. If you're in a sea of neutral and then there's this vibrant green and orange something happening in a painting over a sideboard in your dining room or over a sofa, where's the eye going to go? Right to the contrast, right to the thing that's different. So yes, Kay, I would definitely be cognizant. What do I want in that space? Do I want there to be an easy, seamless marriage? Do I want pop of something? Is my color pop coming from my art? I can't answer that for you, but I'd like you to think about that, okay? And in terms of matching and context, you're not going to put a beach scene inside in a white frame and hang that in a modern farmhouse, right? It belongs in a beach house. You're not going to do a bunch of starfish in a white frame if you're not doing this kind of beachy vibe. So context, framing, context of meaning subject, I should say, subject of the artwork in the context of the space. It all kind of, it all marries together. Last 2 questions from Mr. Hoffman. Yes, because I have to get to my meetup with my advanced students, my yummies, my dedicated students in a little bit. Okay, so Kathy is saying, should the smaller framed art be hung over a larger piece or vice versa? Should the smaller, oh, you mean when you're stacking? Kathy, I need to see what you're talking about. Usually when you stack artwork, it looks great when everything's the same size. It makes a very interesting stack. You're talking about doing something a little unusual, and I'd like to see pictures of what you're talking about doing. There's a way for it to work, but I would need a visual lesson to show you that, okay? Jennifer is saying, I ask myself these questions about each piece of artwork I see to determine, will it still work in my space? Exactly. Becky Fox Jacoby is saying, what's a good rule for arranging wedding portraits without getting too much? I have 6. I bet they're pretty, but I like odd numbers. What can I do? They are, they are not all the same size and from different eras. Okay, Becky, not all, Becky, I don't know your design fingerprint. I don't know what your design style is. So it's a little hard for me to answer you with quality here, a quality answer, because there are a few ways to work this, and there's some ways that could look terrible in certain contexts. You could marry them all in the same matting and framing, and then make some sort of gallery wall. If they're different sizes, definitely a gallery that's kind of amorphous as opposed to a perfect grid. Um, if you can have them all converted to black and white, and dark shades of sepia so that they have context together, and then marry them all with matting and framing. That's something else that you can do if some are in color and some are not. And then you're making kind of artsy by turning everything into black and white. We do that actually with a lot of family photo walls with clients. It looks beautiful. Rather than having 7 billion colors coming off of the family photo wall, we turn everything into black and white, different size images, and it's really beautiful, and it becomes very elegant looking. Beth Davies is saying, would you still put art 6 to 8 inches above a bench with a back? It seems too low. Correct. I agree with you. That's too low. Yeah. I'd have to see what the height of that bench is. 6 to 8 inches for me is like a starting point, but I will say that in general, most people hang things too low. This is the bench seat that has a back. If it's a backless bench, of course, you're higher than that, right? You're going to be somewhere in that 36-inch eye line off the floor. So, Beth, I would start at that 6 to 8 inches, but you might find that you need to lift it to 10 inches above. But if you start getting to 12 inches above that back or more, you could start to look like your art is floating in the middle of nowhere. That is a more generic answer without actually seeing the piece that you're talking about, because some benches, like I'm doing one right now in a bedroom in front of a bed, has a significantly low back because it's very stylized. So if it's a very low back, then I might go higher. All right. Hope that helps you. Hope that helps you. So as we start wrapping things up here, let me just remind you about our fantastic contest, the Bookcase and Bookshelf Makeover Contest. You have until May 1st to post your gorgeous after result. We made it simpler. You don't need a before, because a lot of you said, hey, I don't have a before, but I have a great after. You can post it on Instagram with the hashtag hashtag TIDA Bookcase Challenge. TIDA Bookcase Challenge. Post it on our Instagram feed at decorating.genius, and then post a little caption about why you love design CPR to help you get that great result. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at decorating.genius. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, and you have until May 1st to get that in, and then you'll get to win one of our courses. And I'm told that we are done. I've got to go because I got places to go. I have design students to meet with. So I'm going to let you go. I'll see you next week for 3 common mistakes young design companies make. I can't wait to share some great info with you then. And in the meantime, have a beautiful week, everybody. It was great seeing you. Bye-bye now. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.